What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Season 9 of the competitive ladder is well underway. Jeff Kaplan just gave us a whole bunch of information on character picks, so let's talk about what's good, what's bad, and if it even matters. There's been a lot of changes to character balance recently, with Mercy getting a pretty significant nerf not too long ago. Mei and Doomfist got some buffs, and Sombra had a pretty significant change as well. So a lot of people have been asking me what characters are going to be good for the competitive ladder Season 9. Also, Jeff Kaplan did make a post showing all of the most picked characters for the season up until this point. This is the listing that he gave us, and there's a lot of really good information here. I'm going to switch it over to this image. I want to divide it up into the lower and the upper brackets because there's some trends that I want to show you. So for the upper brackets, you'll notice there's still very much kind of like the dive comp thing going on there. And then in the lower brackets, you start to see a lot more Reinhardts, a lot more Soldier 76, Mercy is really common as well. So there's a lot more of the traditional kind of anchor tank lineup for the lower brackets, whereas the upper brackets is still very much doing the dive type stuff. Now for Mercy in the Grandmaster, you'll notice that her pick rate dropped like a rock, and that's because those players have the mechanical skill to be able to use other things like Zenyatta and Lucio significantly more effectively than what they could do with a Mercy. The only thing that was keeping those Mercy pick rates high, at least in the upper brackets, was the fact that she could double res. Now that that's gone, Lucio and Zenyatta and Moira are just way better healers for those upper bracket players. Also, what's kind of interesting is Tracer, who is generally considered to be the best pure DPS character in the game, is number 2 in Grandmaster, falls down a little bit in Master and a little bit in Diamond, but is absolutely nowhere to be found in the lower brackets. And this is likely due to the fact that Tracer has one of the higher skill ceilings and one of the higher skill floors in the game, where you actually have to have a pretty good amount of mechanical skill to actually get the character to be effective. Now, this is kind of interesting because this contrasts with Genji, who also shares a similar skill floor and skill ceiling, except he's present in every single bracket. And I think the main reason for that is just because he's a cyborg ninja, and people think it's cool, and that's why they use him. So whether or not they actually have the mechanical skill to play the character effectively, they're still going to use him because he's cool. Now, one character that you don't see at all on here that I think might actually start showing up, at least in the upper bracket, is going to be Sombra. Because of the recent changes, she can be significantly more effective and a lot more damaging. Now, it's not quite as much DPS as a Tracer, but what Sombra lacks in DPS, she brings in utility and being able to shut down all those barriers and that sort of stuff. So we might start seeing Sombra start to poke up at the bottom there towards the end of the season. So what kind of team comps and what characters are going to be strong in Season 9? Well, if you're in the upper bracket, it's still pretty much going to continue to be dive until they add something that is able to really kind of combat that dive meta. Then that is still going to be the best. Brigitte might actually be able to change that a little bit, although after I've been playing the character, I'm a little bit concerned that Brigitte might actually make dive worse, because imagine that you could throw that insta-heal on the Tracer or the Winston or the Diva that's kind of off in the backline. That might actually make dive even worse than it already is. I'm hoping, though, that she is better for the anti-dive than she is for the actual dive itself. So we'll have to see. But for that upper bracket, dive is still going to be really strong. Quad tank is also going to be really strong. For the lower bracket, you're going to be better off going with the standard anchor tank with a Reinhardt and then something else, like maybe a Diva or a Roadhog or a Zarya or something. And then having 2 healers, probably Mercy and Ana or Mercy and Zenyatta or something like that. And then kind of more standard kind of frontal damage like the Soldier 76s and the Junkrats and stuff like that. I think those are going to be the best picks for the lower bracket. So I'm sure some people are asking, is Diva too strong? Is Tracer too strong? Do these characters need a nerf? I don't think so. I don't think they're overpowered. I don't think they need nerfs. The problem is that the high mobility characters in this game just don't really have enough of a counter yet. And there needs to be something, a character in the game that can actually counter that dive and reduce the effectiveness of those highly mobile characters. Until that happens, those dive characters are still going to be incredibly powerful. And it's not that they're individually super powerful, that they're overpowered or anything like that. It's just that when they work together, they complement each other. They synergize so unbelievably well. The D.Va, the Tracer, the Winston, throw a Genji in there. They all get a little bit of extra speed from Lucio. They get the Harmony Orb from Zenyatta. It's not that the individual characters are overpowered. It's just that all of those work so well together, it's just unbelievably powerful. Unfortunately, the PTR isn't really the best place to see how characters are going to affect the meta, so we'll have to wait another week or so until Brigitte gets added to the live version of the game, and then we'll have to reevaluate to see how it's impacting it. It could make dive even better, or it could actually have some really good anti-dive stuff. We'll just have to wait. So as for right now, those are the characters that are going to be the strongest in Season 9. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out my Discord server. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. The links for that stuff are down below. And remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault. Also, special thanks to all my Patreon supporters for helping to make this all possible. If you'd like to see what kind of cool rewards you can get for supporting the channel, check the links on screen and down below.